To today's masterclass. Today is session 3 out of 3, all around how to build a CX strategy. So today's session, we're going to be zooming in on how to build a roadmap. So it's a very exciting topic. Yeah, so session 1, we learned all about how to do a CX architecture diagram, and we'll do a recap of that. We also learned how to design a customer experience. So what does that life cycle look like and what happens? And then finally, today, we're going to learn how to put that all together into a roadmap. So it's all one long conversation. For those that don't know me, my name's Robin Leonard. I'm the CEO and co-founder of AFDigital. I'm 7-time Salesforce certified consultant, I guess. Ex-IBM business analyst, ex-Vodafone business analyst. My interests are the future, business transformation, and skateboarding. So for me, this is really a business analysis task. So I've kind of used all of this training towards this. So AFDigital is a trusted Salesforce Gold consulting partner. We're also a registered.org partner as well. And we're really a multi-cloud partner across all of the major clouds within Salesforce. We're here to provide advice and architecture services, also transformation projects and TeamX, which is our managed service program, and it's a hybrid between marketing and technology services. Great. So today, what are we going to learn? We're going to recap from sessions 1 and 2, just to make sure that we have a continuous conversation. We're going to build a backlog of work out of it. We're going to rank and prioritize that backlog. We're going to build a roadmap, and then we're going to review and phase that CX architecture diagram. So we've got a huge amount to do actually in this call. This is a hands-on learning call, so I'm going to do the job right in front of you live. I don't have pre-canned answers. I'm literally just doing this analysis work in front of you to demonstrate how it works. Great. And I guess just to reiterate, this methodology is something that we use across all of our clients. So as we come in and try to understand what do they need help with and where should we focus our efforts, this is really the way that we get everyone on the same page. Cool. So, and just to remind everyone, we're using a specific case study, Secret Bottle. It's a very good friend of mine, Paul Walton, who owns this business, and it's a really awesome business. It's a wine sampling subscription business where you can upgrade your wine sample subscription into a bigger wine purchase subscription. So the whole idea is wine subscriptions, but it's also sampling as well. So you get to taste a variety of different wines. And with Paul's knowledge and his network, he's actually curated really amazing wines across Australia from really great, providers that you may not have otherwise come across in your typical bottle shop. So it's a really great service. It's an educational service. And we're really diving under the covers of this business to understand how we can really, I guess, scale it and move it into the next phase of its existence. Great. So this is just a recap on all of the questions we need to ask to start the CX architecture diagram: stakeholders, personas, teams and departments, tech stack, channels or touch points, and then objectives and pain points. So this is everything in a page to start initially with that diagram. This allowed us to flesh out the different personas and really understand what does a single view of that persona look like. What does my single customer view look like versus my single influencer view? And this really starts to form the future of your data architecture, but we're still early days. So this is the current CX architecture. So this is the diagram that we did in session 1. And remember, we did this live from a blank page. We figured out what are all the different parts to this architecture? How do they relate to each other? What are the different channels? Who are these stakeholders? What are the teams? So much going on here, but this is one page that describes the architecture of the customer experience. We've also got a future state as well. So at the first round, we actually kind of went a bit like, oh, out of the possible, what could we do if we were to do everything immediately? And this allows us, and you can see I'm a Salesforce partner. Naturally, I recommend Salesforce. So we usually try and build a single customer view with Salesforce where they have all of the necessary clouds to perform those functions in their business that they need to do today and they'd like to do tomorrow. And so for these guys, really looking at sales, service, marketing, and maybe social studio as well. Then also on the website, they've got a lot of different technology on their current website. So it'd be looking at, leveraging platforms like Community Cloud from Salesforce to expose that same single customer view and provide all of these guys with a secure login option where they can manage their relationship. There's also some other options like Store Connect is a really great e-commerce tool that integrates easily into Salesforce. So yeah, there are many options for how they can move forward. Great. And I think the other thing as well is just on the right, we've got all these personas. Paul isn't necessarily managing these guys in a system at the moment. So, his influences are ad hoc. Prospects, he can use his tools for that, but it's kind of a lot of room for improvement. B2B supplier management, it's like just email is how he would manage that, and candidates for recruitment as well. So having a system for all of these different personas allows you to provide a consistent experience to them as well. Cool. So that's that. I think we also came out with kind of a high-level summary of challenges and goals. Key challenges: acquisition efficiency, revenue, and many disconnected systems. Key goals: optimize cost per acquisition, increase customer lifetime value, and build a single customer view. So, these are the kind of, if we were to summarize where he was at the start of the conversation, before we continue to design the future. Great. Okay, so, and please do shoot out any questions. I'm doing a very quick recap of the last few sessions now, and we'll get up to prioritization. Great, so customer lifetime value. So there's 4 elements of customer lifetime value: the transaction frequency, transaction value, the basket size, average tenure, and cost of acquisition. The formula is frequency times value times tenure minus acquisition. So that gave us about $300 customer lifetime value for Paul for one of his customers. So that means that everyone that signs up for they may pay only $35 initially. On average, they're worth about $300. Great. So, and this is kind of why we do that customer lifetime value, is because we need to understand the funnel of acquiring those customers in a lot of detail. So if we've got this number, we can actually pivot off it. So if I know that it's about $300 and I know that 5% of subscribers convert, then I know that that subscriber is worth $15. So that's the relationship. You pivot off it. And then really from here, it's like, if I want to increase the value of my subscribers, I need to increase my conversion rate, or I need to increase my customer lifetime value. Those are my 2 options for increasing the value of my subscriber. So you've really got these 2 levers. You've got a value, and then you've got the ratio of conversion. So I can work on becoming more efficient in my advertising, my web conversion, my email subscriber conversion. And then I can also improve my customer lifetime value by doing upsell, cross-sell, by really extending the life and spend of that customer. So in Secret Bottle's case, we actually worked backwards, but the problem was Secret Bottle don't really do much email marketing. They do a little bit of newsletters. They do a bit of a welcome journey, but generally it's mostly web visitors and mostly organic search. A lot of time has been invested into that .com site, the WordPress site that is at the base of everything else. So that gets a lot of organic results, which is great. That's free traffic. So you get that, and he has a great conversion rate. It's 1.7% of those visitors convert into paying customers. So, so he's got a different relationship here. He's got kind of subscribers out to the side. He actually does achieve a lot of subscriber signups. 5.3% of subscribers, of visitors turn into subscribers. But there's just not enough happening here to realize the value. So until he's making money out of these subscribers, they're worth nothing. So what he needs to do is just start working on that conversion rate from subscriber to customer, and that will really amplify the value of those subscribers to his business. Yeah, so that's kind of lifetime value, and that's how it works. Great. All right, so on to customer experience. All right, so that was session 1. Oh, yeah, halfway through session 2 now. Customer experience. So we start with this template. This is a really simple template. Find, evaluate, order, deliver, reorder. Then as we do discovery with a client, we understand the current state on the top. So, and what we've done is we've modified this journey. So this is quite a standard one, but because Paul has subscribers, he also has a very clear cancel process. So we decided to add another step. He also said customer service is very important to him, and it kind of goes throughout, and even at the cancellation phase, it's important. So we added another one here as well, so we could really emphasize what the experience was like for customer service too. Great. So at the top, we've got current, and then as we went in our last call, and it's all recorded on YouTube, so please, yeah, just refer back to it. We actually went and we took the current state, and then in blue, we added on the future state. So this was very much like, it's just creative thinking based on what you've seen best practice brands do, you know, your own personal experience. Like what would I expect if I was to go through this journey as a customer? Yeah, so so this is where we got to at the end of last session. And it's all great to have the vision. It's great to see the architecture, but when you actually go to implement it, it's all too much. You know, like implementing all of these journeys immediately. Which one do you do first? Which one do you expect a return on? You know, like what's the strategy here? It's not enough. So really what we want to talk about now is prioritization, which is the whole focus of this call, of this masterclass. So we're now going to talk about prioritization, and then we'll finalize a roadmap, and then we'll go from there. All right, so it's a lot. It's a lot. I'm going to do my best. Okay, so we use a basic prioritization framework. You may have seen this before, where you've got the benefit and the cost, and you've got, so if you think about what's high benefit, low cost is low hanging fruit. High benefit, high cost is competitive advantage. Yeah, so this is really the stuff that will put you ahead of your competitors, but it's hard to do. And the reason they haven't done it is because it's hard. So this is really like, yeah, awesome. Low benefit, high cost is time wasters. So you just rule them out immediately. And then low benefit, low cost is kind of polishing. You know, sometimes they are really foundational. It's kind of, for me, it's a bit of a mix of foundation and polish. You know, like sometimes you just have to have them in place, but they won't benefit you immediately, but they just have to be done. Great. Okay, so let's just jump in. So I'm going to show you how I do this. This is a template I use where you've got a requirement on the left, task, or this could be solution, benefit, and cost. And to keep things easy, we keep it very simple about the benefit and the cost. We just go high, medium, low, and this allows us to easily rank a large volume of stuff. Okay, so I'm going to go back, and this is my method. It's a little bit manual, but it does the job. So what I do is I actually go back and I start to really develop these ideas. I've already started. So say for press stunt, I'd be like, okay, if I were to do a press stunt, I would want to do social listening around it. So, and I'd probably actually also want to do some kind of event as well. So cost is actually quite high for an event. Benefit is high, you could say maybe high, and this would be a event with guests. Yeah, and then I generally group that together. So this for me is really around getting everything out on the floor. And this is as much a creative session as it was before. So as I look through each of these, I'm like, okay, what does that mean? What are the elements of that? And how do I break it up? So influencer program. So again, if I was to do an influencer program, I would think, okay, I need to monitor them. And I probably need to find them as well. So I might just group this together, identify and monitor. And then I also need some kind of CRM, and I also need contracts, because I shouldn't enter into anything with an influencer where they can represent my brand and they don't have a contract. Contract management. Okay, benefit for contracts is probably medium, in that it will prevent you a lot of downside. Cost is low. Yeah, actually, maybe benefit. You won't make. Yeah, okay. Let's keep going. It's always, and this, I'd encourage you to not be too black and white about this. This is really a conversation. So you need to decide internally if you all agree it's a medium. And then if you don't agree, then it's like, well, do you know what medium is? Like, what's medium to you? Is medium $1 million or is it $10? So it's really quite relative to your organization size. Great. Okay, so that's influencer management. So I'm just going to merge that. Let's keep going. Guest blogging. Okay, guest blogging. So for these guys, probably actually it's the same banana as I need to find the guest bloggers. So, and guest bloggers are really just influencers. So I'm just going to group this into this group blogger. Okay, I won't overthink that. Great. Wine survey with sample. Wine survey. Okay, with sample just means that it comes with the sampler. So it would be an automated wine survey. Oh, wine survey. This is the requirement that comes with sample subscription. Okay, so the solution would be a survey journey. Okay, the benefit would be, I would say, high, and I'd say it's relatively low effort to achieve that. Okay, cool. So let's just remove that. Wine preferences report. Okay. So the idea with the wine preferences report was that you would actually be able to come up with a public report to say, here are the wine preferences of Australia based on all of our data we've collected from all of our members. So the wine preferences report, if I'm thinking like a Gartner type report, I would, and it's really just it's actually content that they can maybe do a monthly blog on. It's like, here's a wine preferences report. So it may be like a live dashboard with survey results on web, maybe something like that. So that maybe is medium benefit and maybe medium cost. Okay. They could, so you could also look at different options as well. So as we're strategizing, so they've got this option. So maybe there's a few varieties of a wine preferences report. Maybe there's a version which is quite awesome, which is a live thing on the website that you can go to. But do Gartner have that? No, Gartner don't do that. So Gartner do a monthly email report that you can subscribe to, where you get those results on a monthly basis as part of like a monthly wrap up. So that one would be very easy to do, and it would be probably medium benefit, low cost. You could almost go so far as say, since there's no email conversions, this could be a great way to drive email conversions to the website. So perhaps it's a high benefit, low cost thing to do to drive that email strategy. Cool. Okay, so I've grouped those together. So those are my two options, right, for addressing this requirement. I'll keep going. This will make a lot more sense in a bit. Okay, cool. So what else have we got down here? Wine report, newsletter campaigns. Okay, so newsletter. So I think the requirement is probably like um, drive conversions from email. And really here you'd have a couple of things. So you'd have a monthly newsletter, and that is a medium benefit, low cost. And then you'd also, driving conversions, you'd also have regular email campaigns. And that is a high benefit, low cost. Okay, cool. I know I'm writing over this stuff. So that's how I kind of build out one page of recommendations. I'm going to do another one because I enjoy it. So, I mean, you can see though, like this is arbitrary. Like I'm deciding these things on the fly. You might want to have a session with your team to understand what the ideas are. So you've pulled out all these requirements from all of your analysis. You know, we should also look not only at these journey ideas, we should also look at these pain points and be like, what can we bring into this this backlog? So let me just drop that here. Okay. So let me keep going. And so you could do this in a spreadsheet. You don't have to do it in a slide. It's probably the most inconvenient place I could do this analysis exercise. But I'm also using it like a bit of a whiteboard with you guys as well. All right. Okay, computer meltdown. Okay, cool. So I am having a computer meltdown. Okay, cool. I'll just throw that to the side. Come on, computer. Okay, great. So let's delete some of these rows and we start again. This time I'm going to do the pain points. So I can keep going through those journey items, but I'm just going to focus on these pain points to see what, to make sure we've addressed everything. For me, again, this is a backlog and this is an analysis task. All of this stuff we've done is an analysis task. So you should be building out this backlog with every finding. It's almost actually, this is probably more of a finding requirement. You know, it could be an explicit finding, it could be a pain point. Anything goes. So we go, okay, so the pain point is high cost of acquisition. So, and drilling into high cost of acquisition, what I know is that he does spend a bit of money on ads, but they have about 5% of their actual conversions come from ads. So he spends a lot of money on stuff that's not working properly. So I would probably try and look for an alternative ad strategy. And without drilling into too much detail, I would look at converting that subscriber list. So I would do a custom audience campaign for subscribers that haven't signed up. The benefits doing that is probably quite high. The costs would be relatively low. Okay, what else would I do? High cost of acquisition is I would do a re-engagement journey to subscribers that haven't signed up. It's same banana really, subscribers. Okay, so these are really like old subscribers that you haven't really done anything with for a while, just re-engaging them and saying, hey, it's been a while since we've heard from you. Would you like maybe a offer on getting a sample? So the benefit of that one, again, is high and probably quite low, especially once you've set up an automation, it just keeps going forever. So that's really where you can get a massive amount of ROI. Okay, high cost of acquisition. So he's already got a website that's doing really well. He's already got high converting landing pages. He probably has, he does have Google Ads and display networks set up. So what we might do is we might do a suppression, ad suppression for customers. So customers meaning I have bought something before. Active customers. I have bought something recently. So if I haven't bought something in a while, then yeah, it's fair play, target me again. So benefit for ad suppression is it depends on how much he's spending, but it's usually high and easy. So let's stop on that one. I could keep going. Another thing I'd look at doing is maybe measuring the cost of acquisition very accurately, and really looking into a tool to do that, to make sure all of the different places that touch your customer are considered in the attribution of that conversion. But I won't do that for now. Okay, great. So what else have we got? Initial experience, cutoff wait. So what he said is that there was, in the initial experience when you book, there's a bit of a wait time. It's up to 4 weeks if you book right after the cutoff. So initial cutoff wait time is kind of the finding, up to 4 weeks. So definitely I would suggest having some kind of countdown, countdown on web. I would also do a countdown campaign that recurring campaign. Countdown on web. I would also do an email confirmation upon order completion about the ETA. Email confirmation with ETA. And then I would also think about maybe a engagement journey while they wait. Something to prepare them, like what wines are they going to get? What can they read up on? Like, you know, get them anticipating. So I've just kind of brainstormed these 4 ideas, and this is just how it works, right? You work with your team to say, what are the ways we can address that? And each of them has a different cost and a different benefit. So a countdown on web would probably be, maybe it's a double-edged sword because it can deter as well. So maybe you'd put a dynamic countdown on the web, something like that, to drive urgency. But I don't know if it would actually solve the problem. So maybe it's a low benefit. Maybe you could argue it's medium benefit, maybe medium cost, depending on what the solution you find is. Recurring countdown recurring campaign. So if I'm a subscriber and I've got one, or like say a week left until the cutoff, what if you sent me an email and said, look, you've got 1 week to get this cutoff. We're doing a special where if you do it now, you get 10% off or something like that, with offer. So let's just say that is probably gonna help us convert that email subscriber base. So I'd say it's high benefit, and I'd say it's probably a low to medium cost, depending on the solution. It depends on if you have like a very smart kind of check to say, have they signed yet, and maybe a few steps in there, or if you just had a one-time, yeah. And then email confirmation with ETA. This one is probably high benefit in terms of, I'll say medium benefit actually, in terms of just preventing maybe 1 out of 10 customers that would be affected by this. Maybe it's 2 out of 10. I don't actually know the number, but that's the thing. You've got to consider what's the impact as well. Email confirmation with ETA is pretty low as well. And then engagement journey while they wait. This one is pretty high, and because you can cross sell at this time. And then low, I mean, maybe you could say it's the same, medium. Yeah, if you plan to cross sell though, or upsell, then maybe it could be high. That's the thing, is like, it's really, a lot of it's about the strategy. Okay, cool. And then inquiries, getting back to people. So inquiries and getting back to people. So being a small business, you know, it's not like he has a whole call center, but like just waiting there. It's probably just him and his team, you know, and it's very hard to really coordinate that that seamless customer service experience 24/7. You know, he was saying that he'd get a message on a Sunday night from someone that's like, they want an answer right now. They expect 24/7 service, you know, and that's just the expectation that we have nowadays. It's not their fault to expect that, but it's also it's a gap, right? In terms of how a brand responds, it's like you have to manage that. You know, is it going to impact our revenue if we're not available on Sunday night? Possibly not. So that's the other thing. You've got to consider those service times, but it's all a moot point at the end of the day with automation because we've got robots now. So really what I would recommend is just a chat bot to get started. So I'd say that's a high benefit. And depending on the solution, again, it's kind of low to medium cost. I might say medium cost. Great. All right, so I don't want to boil the ocean, but I think you guys get the gist, right? So I keep going back through my analysis until I've kind of gone through every single one of these and gone, okay, what does that mean? What is the piece of work? Is it high value to my business? Is it going to cost an arm and a leg? You know, and then I have to sync with other people. So it's just my perception right now that it's medium benefit to do newsletters. But if I ask my marketing manager, he'll be like, no, I convert a lot off that. And then you're like, okay, well, let's put a target behind it. Like, what do you reckon you can convert? You know, and if he says, I think off every newsletter, we should aim for 1% of people to become customers, then I put a value to this task. You know, then my newsletter becomes less of a hassle and more of a revenue generating activity. So, excuse me. So yeah, so this is kind of how to build a backlog, and these are the backlog items, and these kind of go to build up. And usually I'd group by cloud. Okay, wait, we haven't quite finished. Okay, so so the prioritization, if we go back to our color schemes, low-hanging fruit, competitive advantage, polishing, and time wasters. So let's apply that same thinking to this. So we've got high, medium, low. So medium benefit, low cost. So if we go back here, it's kind of medium benefit, low cost. It's really like polishing or low hanging fruit, borderline. But I'd say polishing. And again, this is a conversation that you have with your team and just to identify, okay, so then we've got event with guests, and that is competitive advantage. And again, this is your business, you know, like I think for Paul, if he had a wine tasting event with his subscriber database, I think that would be a very high value event. Even though it's an old school traditional method of marketing, events are still very effective as a channel. And we should definitely consider the offline, online kind of working together. You know, he's got an inactive subscriber database that's not converting. So let's convert them with a physical event. Okay, so let's keep going. Influence the identity and identify and monitor. So this one is medium low, medium benefit, low. Again, you could argue this is high benefit if I'm not doing influencers and that channel starts selling me $1 million a year because it just went viral. So, I mean, it's hard. It's a bit of a gamble about, let's just call it, because I just want a high low. I want a low hanging fruit. Okay, and then we've also got the influencer CRM as well. So this is using a CRM to track your influencers as you would do customers. So that's also a really low hanging fruit as well. Contract management requires probably a little bit of time investment to get the contracts up and running, but you've got to do it anyway. So this one I'd say is more polishing. Okay, next one, survey journey. So high benefit, low cost. So this one is a low hanging fruit. Cool. Okay, medium. What's this one? A wine preferences report. That's really in the middle. So you can kind of say, is it a time waster? I mean, what would the ROI be from it? It would be amazing, but is it going to drive traffic? Maybe it'll drive traffic. Maybe it'll become well known. Maybe it'll be a big marketing phenomenon in the wine industry. So you have to weigh all of these up, but I'm going to just call this polishing because I'm not sure if it's going to pay off. Okay, monthly email report. So this is just doing a monthly blast with some wine stats. So this is low hanging fruit. We could do this tomorrow. Monthly newsletter. medium benefits, so probably polishing, whereas the campaigns low-hanging fruit. Okay, cool. So I think you're getting the kind of gist of how we prioritize. We've found one strategic thing he should do, which is an event with his guests. That's a strategic thing. That's got a big cost. That's something that he definitely should do to be to maintain his kind of position as a leader, as non-digital as it is, but it will help him convert his subscriber database into customers. Yeah, whereas you've got other things like influencers, surveys, monthly email stat reports, regular email campaigns. Those kind of things are stuff that he can just do very easily with very little investment and quickly as well. But they should have a good bang for his buck. Great. Okay, I'm not going to do them all, but what I'm going to do is the next step. So what I do, it's again a very manual process, is I would then take these and I'd throw them in here. So and I forgot to copy the colors as well. Okay, bear with me. Great. Cool. So just as a reference point, I'm just putting that there so I can just plot these things where they belong. So social listening, we said, was down here, and it's Marketing Cloud. So this also helps me also formulate which products they sit in. Event with guests is probably, it's a mixture of Sales Cloud, but that's a high. Yeah, okay, so I'll put it up here in the top right. So probably here, but it's its own solution really. Influencer, okay, cool. So this one we will put under Marketing Cloud for low-hanging fruit. Okay. Influencer identify and monitor. And then we've got influencer CRM as part of Sales Cloud, influencer CRM, contract management. So that's really Sales Cloud as well. So that's where in the Salesforce world, you'd master the contract and all customer data. Great. Then we've got, oh, sorry, but we said that contract management is actually, it's not a low-hanging fruit. So it's down here. Okay, great. And then survey journey is a low-hanging fruit, and that's pretty much, where do we put that? It's sometimes a combo, but we're going to put that in Sales Cloud at the moment. Oh no, sorry, Survey Journey, that's in Marketing Cloud because it's a journey. Sorry, surveys often sit in Sales Cloud. So I'm just going to put that there as because it is a strategic element required to do a survey. Journey is to have a survey. Okay, next is live dashboard with results. So this is probably a live dashboard, and this is me putting my solution hat on, but you can kind of do this with a few tools. So it may be that there's a Tableau play, or maybe there's a Datarama play, but possibly Tableau if it's a public-facing data set, possibly. So what do we call this? Live dashboard on web. Okay, but then we may have, instead of doing that, which was kind of that, bottom left, if we say monthly email report, so it's actually a stats report, wine stats, monthly wine stats email, probably a better word for it, wine stats email. And then, okay, cool. And then if I put that here, great. Okay, next up is monthly newsletter. So this one is kind of seen as like it's necessary, but maybe not super ROI. But regular campaigns, definitely there's ROI there. So, email campaigns. Obviously, you can do SMS as well, but just getting started with email to that subscriber database is a good place to start. Great. So what else is there? Let's just keep going. Conscious of time. And I think you guys get the picture of this, is we really just map out what these things are. And we're just kind of placing them, you know, based on what we've agreed is the kind of different criteria of each. And we could go all day. So you saw that obviously, like I could just keep going and going and build out. Usually I'd probably build out maybe 50 different items for this backlog. Very easily, we'd just build it out. And then you come here and you'd map it into each of the different clouds or solutions. So what's low-hanging fruit, what's foundation, what's competitive advantage. Another thing to think about in most companies is these are different streams. You know, so marketing cloud team, it's very different to the sales and service cloud team. So you may also want to separate the backlog by team. So every team has their own different kind of prioritization framework. So, but I'm not going to do that now in the interest of time. So let's just proceed. I'm just going to drop a few more in here. So just bear with me a little bit. Okay. So, and this is my very manual method of doing it. I'm actually working on an automated solution for this, but it's coming soon. So just watch out for that. Great. Okay, custom audience campaign for subscribers. This is high value, low effort. So again, this is very easy. Custom audience ads, custom audience. So that's an advertising related thing. And then we've got re-engage journey to subscribers. It's also high-low re-engagement journey. This is actually subscribers. Ad suppression for active. Countdown. Okay, so this one adds countdown on web was medium. So it's kind of here, and it's really like maybe a website feature, which yeah, this is where it's kind of like can be complex. Whoops. Okay, countdown feature. Great. Okay, what else have we got? Countdown recurring campaign with offer, high, low. Countdown recurring offer. Email confirmation with ETA is medium, low. Email confirmation with ETA. Great. Okay, we're almost there. Chatbot. Okay, this is what I was looking for. That's under service, medium, low. Sorry, high, medium. Okay, so I'm just going to put it here, chatbot. It's also probably, if I were to position it, would be somewhere around here. And I'm just going to delete everything else that I don't have items for, just so I don't confuse myself. Okay, great. Excellent. Okay, so here's our prioritization framework, right? We've taken the backlog, the small backlog we created, and we've said, okay, what is it? Like how do we rank it? And then we've put it into this framework and visualized it and said, okay, here it is, guys, here's our prioritization outcome. So what's the next step after this? Is really to take all of these things and throw them into a roadmap in the most logical order you can think of. So that's the end of the prioritization. We get to the roadmap. So this is really the next step. And again, you can see it's just the same, me being very manual about it. I'm dragging my things onto the page, but it's very methodological, if I don't know if that's the right word. So we've got a low-hanging fruit from Marketing Cloud. So I'm just going to throw these into Q1 to start. Great. What else have we got? We've got Okay, Sales Cloud as well. So survey solution and CRM. Let's put that there so we know. Chatbot as well. Okay. Service Cloud, we've got events with guests. And then we've got contract management. This is influencer contract management. Countdown feature. Live dashboards on web. And then these ones, marketing cloud, social listening. Okay, is that all of them? Yep, okay, cool. Whoops. Okay. Great. Okay, I'm having a little battle. Okay, cool. So now we've got that, rid of that. Now, these are the things that that have now kind of ended up in our backlog. So, and we've got these 3 areas. Obviously, this would be a lot longer usually, but now it's just a matter of kind of planning it out with your team. So you're like, okay, which ones do we want to do first? Influence is not my most urgent thing. So I'm actually, while it is easy to do, I'm going to put that into Q3. Survey journey. Yeah, I'm really excited to do surveys. I am excited to do this wine stats email. I am excited to do email campaigns. That's going to get me customers today. Ads, custom audience, yes, okay, but oh man, I've got so much going on. Maybe I should push this wine stats email out to Q2 because I need to do the survey first and have the results and then do the results. Okay, cool. So email campaigns, and then ads. This is a journey, re-engagement to subscribers. Ads, suppression, that one's a very easy one. The journey to re-engage subscribers is I need to come up with content. So maybe I'll give myself a bit of time for that one. Okay, influencer CRM, again, that's probably like maybe Q4 once I've done I've figured out who I want them to be. Okay, survey solution and CRM, I need that to start with this survey journey. But actually, maybe I need to do the survey journey after I've done that survey solution and CRM, because that's the foundation. So I'm going to put my survey journey there. And then I'm going to be like, oh, actually, I need to move this wine stats email. It's not realistic to do it there. I'll shift it to Q3. Okay, so then we've got countdown recurring offer journey. This, I feel like he's already got a really good conversion on his website. And as we said, this one's a bit of a, not sure if it's going to give us ROI, so, or if it's going to work against us. So we're just going to put that at the end. And actually, as I think about it, I may downgrade it. And so I want you to think this is a flexible way of thinking, right? Like we're just prioritizing, we're building a plan. Right now, I'm trying to cull Q1 and spread the work across all of the year in a logical fashion so that it's easy to achieve. Great. Okay, so the events, it's still COVID-19 and I want to build up an audience. So I'm going to plan my event for Q3. Okay, so that's done. And then what else have I got? Influencer contract management. So that'll come after Q3. Countdown feature. I think this is on web. So I think we'll also put this Q4, maybe. Okay, live dashboard on web. That's really cool. I'm excited about this. It's just it's a bit, I don't know how to do it. So let's just put it to Q3. Social listening. So this is a good one. And maybe when I do this influencer management, I'll also do this. Okay, Q3. Okay, and then wine stats email. That one is in month 2. Oh no, we actually already have that here, so it's a double up. I'm just going to delete that. Email confirmation with ETA is, I think that's a good foundation to start thinking about doing within this first one. Great. So that's kind of the how we build that roadmap. Now let's have a quick look back. So I'm just gonna go to the future architecture and actually, so this is what we think about in the future. This is a long way off for him, I think. And I think there's some very immediate steps he can look to achieve. So let's just get his current state, and then we'll bring it down again. And I'll just do a phase one. Cool. So using his current technology, and I'm also assuming that he's going to go across to Salesforce at some stage. But really, it's probably the first step would be to make sure he's got those kind of basic marketing things in place. Um, I don't know if all of these immediately require re-architecture. However, he will need to start thinking about his chatbot. Like what solution is he going to use for the chatbot? The email confirmation with ETA, like putting a countdown timer in there it'll have to find a solution. So looking back here, if we were to say, okay, let's just do a very simple phase one. Okay. So phase one. Okay, cool. So we might need to deal with the existing technology inside this website. So I'm just gonna jump back here. The only thing I might do is swap out reamaze to start. Cool. And maybe because service is quite important, is actually just throw Service Cloud in there as a starting point. So, and then Social Studio is later. Okay, so that means that with this basic setup already, and the reason I use Marketing Cloud is just for the continuity of the solution. So we could also integrate with Ontraport for the sending, but we'd probably take over that responsibility with Marketing Cloud as the ideal situation, so that we can manage all of the channels from that one place, and this becomes a source system. So I'd look at doing this as a phase one, and then maybe phase two. Because remember, so if we look at phase one, it's really the ability to do the advertising, chatbot with service, survey journeys, which require a survey tool. So you'd probably want to look at a survey tool, or use Salesforce have a survey feature that you can just use out of the box to do that. Yeah, so you could probably get up to Q2 with that architecture. And then once you go into Q3 with influencers, that's when you really need to probably add on these guys, Sales Cloud and Social Studio, to manage the influences in that sales process. So we've got phase one, phase two, and then I just extend that back up again. And pretty much as we were. So it's a very simple way of doing this kind of architecture phasing, but it's just showing you that we actually go full circle back to the CX architecture, and now we go, okay, now we've done all of that analysis. Let's really finish it off and say, okay, so if I were to map out the secret bottle strategy, shifting across to Salesforce, this would be the key stages, and I have to really build out that full backlog. This is only partial. I would say this is your current state, and this is really what phase one would look like, so and maybe I'd probably cut out a few of these channels to start and keep it a little bit simple. So maybe just chatbot and normal service as phase one. And even with his subscriber database, like his marketing, I would probably do SMS is a really good one. Actually, no, I'll just leave them all in to start. Yeah, but certainly cutting this down, and that also supports live chat on the website and all of those other things. Yeah, cool. So questions, anyone? I think that kind of draws a conclusion to the CX strategy masterclasses. I know there's been so much information popped in there. Let's have a look and see if there's any questions. Great. Can we get a hold of the templates or screenshots of these sample slides? Yes, yes. So you have my commitment that we will make these slides, a Google Doc template, available on our website for download. It's not there right now, but I will definitely share that. We'll also make all of these recordings available on our YouTube. So if you look for AFDigital's YouTube, then it's all there. Yeah, and please don't hesitate to reach out to me if you've got any questions or you want to run through it. This is how we consult with our clients. So the whole idea is it's actually quite easy to do it yourself. But really, when you need an expert to come in and take you through all the pros and cons and challenges, that's really where you need an advisor like us. Cool. Any other questions? Cool. So if there's no other questions, I think let's oh, there's one more. How do you think CRM would benefit our business? Really good question. So it's yeah, there's a lot of ways of answering it. I think the simplest way is just to give your organization a place to put that data that's safe. For me, it's like having a place to put my keys in my house. You know, if you don't have a place to put your keys, you're always going to lose your keys. So it's like once you've got that single customer view, you've all agreed that's where you're going to put your data. That's really the benefit for me. Outside of that, there's just so much you can do with that. You know, once you've got the data, you can market to that data, you can do customer service around that data, you can sell to that data. So it's really a game changer. If your company doesn't have a CRM already, it is a good standard best practice way to be safe, and yeah, do the right thing. There is a massive data breach risk if you don't have a CRM. You know, like a lot of companies go out of business because of data breach, and a data breach is as simple as having a downloaded spreadsheet on your laptop and taking that home. That's and having customer data. That's a data breach. So yeah, I'd highly recommend a CRM. Great. All right. Well, thank you everyone for the time and the focus. I really appreciate it. Yeah, and this won't be our last masterclass, so just keep an eye out on our website. We list them all there, our Facebook and our LinkedIn as well. All of our upcoming events are there as well. So really look forward to having you on the next one. Thank you.